Hello everyone and welcome to the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships for 2019. This the Nations Cup for the Asia region. We are about to watch our top 16 superstars in action. My name is Chris McCarthy and alongside me Jimmy Broadbent.
Great to have you back, Chris.
Thank you very much. It is great to be back and very excited to get this one underway. And let's have a look at the points before we do. We've had 17 rounds so far and this is the ranking. Takagi leading the way out front, just shy of 15,000 points, going very well. A few names that we recognise actually from our World Tour events in there as well.
Yeah, top 4 drivers there, all have been part of a World Tour event at some point or another. Just very quickly going back to the stands, you can see the gap between first and 16th is about 3,000 points. So if you have a good race at this point, you can still shoot up the standings if you're a bit further down. So definitely not over yet for our drivers.
That is a very good thing to know as well. And let's have a look at the track they'll be going round today, because it is a very tricky one indeed. We're going to be racing around Tokyo Expressway. And it is a very tricky track, isn't it, actually, because it's very tight, very twisty, not a lot of room for overtaking. So to have a good race, really you have to kind of stay out of trouble and avoid those penalties.
Yeah, definitely. Very close walls around here. It's a street circuit after a lot of very fast flowing corners with really only one line through them. So overtaking spots really looking down at maybe T1 and T12 there at the end of the circuit. So all about keeping it clean round here. If you do get a penalty, it's really going to cost you, and we'll show you why. We move on to our next slide. About 32 metres of elevation change there. So you won't really notice that on board, but it is there. Must take that into account, of course, when going into certain corners. So we'll just pop to that penalty line now. You can see it there coming out of T13. If you do end up with a penalty there, you're going to be carrying that penalty all the way down, that loss of speed all the way down to T1. That's really going to affect you. So a very harsh penalty zone here.
Yeah, we have that long straight, don't we, all the way from T13 to T1, and then from there we are just into the flowing sections that take us all the way back down to that heavy overtaking zone at turn 12, sorry. So it's going to be a very interesting race indeed. You're going to have to place yourself nicely going in towards turn 1, and then from there just have a smooth run all the way through to T12. Let's have a look then at the race details themselves and tell you how long this race is going to be. It's going to be 9 laps in total, and the cars we're going to be in, very interesting to know, are Group 1 cars. Tyre specs available are hard and medium tyre wear times 26. Group 1 around Tokyo Expressway, not for me. I'm glad it's the superstars that are in action.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, LMP1 spec race cars going around a street circuit. Sounds good in principle, but probably going to be difficult for our superstars anyway.
Yes, it is indeed. I'm talking about tyre strategy we mentioned there. Let's see what they could use. They've got the hards, which we think could last 9 laps, but will be half a second slower, and then mediums about 5 laps. What is it you'd be going for, do you think?
I think definitely with this 26 times tyre wear, which is just monstrous, I should add, I think I'd be going with the racing hard tyre just to guarantee the no stop in this case. It does seem a no stop is possible, but that still needs a lot of management from our drivers, so it's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we're going to see. Tyre management is going to be key. Well, let's see what they choose. Let's see who's going to be in action, and let's see where they're starting as well. Let's get straight into the grid for you then. This is the Nations Cup for the Asia region. The top 16 superstars about to go racing. Kerakuma is going to be starting from pole position, and he's chosen to go with the Mazda for this one, as has Akagi, who will start alongside on the front row. Then in third place we have Gilles Honda in the Alpine, so that's the first time the Alpine has been chosen, and Yakuki also going up there with the Alpine as well, so an all Alpine row 2. Back to the Mazda then on row number 3 with Ram Stig, and then we come to Yamodo Racing, who has also gone with that Mazda in 6th place. 7th place is G Motor. He's also chosen to go with the Mazda today. And then it is Legacy, also in the Mazda, starting on the outside of row number 4.
Here we have Black Beauty down there in 9th position in the Mazda. A lot of drivers opting for the Vision GT cars, and the Mish 12 Carsonic rounding out our top 10. Then down 11 we have Shines at 0057 there, also in the Mazda. I think I prefer the look of the Mazda to the Alpine, and there is another Alpine, Carsaker, in 12th. And in 13th position we have Cars 0627, worth noting less than a second between 1st and 13th position, which is pretty damn close. Then we have Car Neji there in 14th position. 15th is Jin Koyosuke in the Alpine, and then rounding off the grid in last would have been Shui with no qualifying time. So Here we are then, getting ready for what is going to be a street race on steroids, I think, Chris.
I think that's a very good way to put it. And interesting to note, 6 drivers have gone with the hard tyre, the rest with medium. Jules Honda, the highest of those, on the hard tyre in 3rd place, and Yakuki also with the hard tyre, both of those racing the Alpine, but pretty much everyone else in the top 10 on the medium. So that's going to be one we're going to have to follow throughout the race, but it's Kerakuma who will lead us up towards the line for the first time of 9 laps. Here we go then. Let's get ready to go racing. We'll have to monitor that tyre wear as they come up towards the line. Kerakuma, we wait for the lights to come up, we'll wait for them to go green, and when they do, we will be off away and racing. Akagi will be in chase. I'm sure those two will be battling it out when we get towards T1. Jules Honda and Yakuki, I think, will just be happy to sit behind and have their own race for 3rd place, which could eventually become the lead. But it looks like we're up towards the line now, and we're off away and racing then. Kerakuma leads the way down through the tunnel for the first time. In chase, Akagi. Akagi under a lot of pressure from Jules Honda. Jules Honda might look towards the inside. It's Mazda versus Alpine then, down towards turn number 1. Who is going to come out on top? Yakuki looks under pressure from Ramstig as well as we get towards that tight turn 1. Let's hope we all get through this nice and safely. We've got 9 laps to sort this one out, and I think all the leaders are behaving themselves sensibly so far.
They're just swarm of Route 1 cars there coming through T1. You can see the view back there from Kerakuma. Incredibly fast in a straight line, these cars, up to 150 mile an hour before turning into what is a blind left-hander when you're going through it. Very difficult to navigate. You see how close they are right now, nose to tail, but overtaking through the section is going to be very tricky. Looks like Akagi's having a look though in that Mazda. I think right now we're just very just happy with following Kerakuma. We've got a very big straight here, which would be great for slipstream passes, and of course a big braking zone down to turn 12, which our drivers are rapidly approaching. But it seems that Yukiku is actually falling back a little bit off the top 3 there, Chris.
Yes, he has indeed. I've got to ask you quickly, what's your views on the tyre choices that we've gone for so far? Are you surprised to see mediums at the front?
I'm surprised to see that diversity in the top 4. Top 2 runners are mediums, the 2 behind both on hard tyres, so we would expect to see the top 2 guys come in. So if the hard runners can stay with these guys around here, it's going to be looking very good. Jules Honda actually looking to maybe challenge Akagi. He's right at the back of him, but not quite close enough to get a move done. And now we go down the incredibly long front straight here. This is where top speed comes into play now. Essentially the 2 cars we're seeing on the circuit are the Mazda LM55 Vision GT and the Alpine Vision GT, so there's not really much to choose from in terms of variants there, but it does seem that the Mazda might have the legs in a straight line, but with the slipstream it's going to be hard to break away.
That's it, and it's a long straight, isn't it? So slipstream is going to be huge down towards turn number 1. And Jules Honda at the moment absolutely no problem in staying with Akagi and Kerakuma, and Akagi's had enough of following Kerakuma around. The slipstream was big enough to take him through, and Akagi hits the front. Kerakuma looking to come back down the inside, but stays behind for the time being. And Jules Honda's loving this. The 2 leaders on those medium tyres now battling, and Jules Honda is just going to stay with them as we head through lap number 2. It is still Yakuki in 4th. I don't think we've had any real changes. Black Beauty seems to have gone up a place, likewise Legacy and Saka, but going down we have KRS and Negi Fish as well. So a few changes outside of the top 10, nothing really to note other than that. Akagi leading the way out front from Kerakuma. That's the change we saw going down the straight, but a few people clipping the wall. That could lead to penalties. They're going to be careful of that.
Very careful around here, of course, because this being a street circuit, there is 0 runoff. You're going to be very, very careful where you're placing the car around here. You're seeing on the main straight, these cars are doing 220 mile an hour. They are not slow by any stretch of the imagination. Now coming up to what we think is the best overtaking spot. Karakuma's a bit too far back to have a look, I think, so heavy on the brakes here. You can see the braking bit on the left. Turn the car and then easy on the power on exit. Very easy to spin up the wheels in these things. So much power underneath your right foot, and that can lead to, of course, very oversteer. So now it's Karakuma's time to be in the slipstream coming down the straight. So he's going to have essentially the advantage coming into T1. Let's have a look at the slipstream now. We're on board with Kerakuma. Let's see how much closer he gets here. You see now starting to pull in that speed there, over 200 mile an hour, still climbing, 210 miles an hour, still pulling onto the back of a car, getting right up into the rev limiter now. He might be close enough to have a look down at T1. Let's see what he does.
Yes, let's see. He's going to pull to the inside. Akagi not going to defend. I think he knows there's absolutely no way he can fight that. And Kerakuma slots back into the lead. Well, this is not really a bad thing. If they're just going to swap positions going down the straight. Oh, and that's Yakuki going straight into the wall. Oh, and a penalty also for Ramstig as well. So a knock-on effect happened there as Yakuki came flying down the inside for third place. As he hit the barrier and came back across the track, there was nothing that Ramstig could do. And that is the cost we have when we're racing around a street circuit, isn't it? You can be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think what happened there is maybe Ramstig instigated the contact. He's why he's got 5 second penalty and 1.5, and then the contact with the wall for Yukiku, unfortunately, was why he's picked up the 1.5 seconds. So really, that was very unfortunate for Yukiku from what we saw. We didn't get to see a replay, unfortunately, so he might just be an innocent bystander and all that. But that can be racing, and unfortunately it's not going his way. So Ramsig now has a 5 second penalty, which means you guys are going to see what this penalty line is all about now. We're coming out of a T12 very soon. You're going to see him have to slow down for 5 seconds. He will go down to last place, I think, from here. There's no way he can defend. When you go for the penalty zone, the car ghosts, so you're essentially invisible to the other drivers, so you can just drive through the person with the penalty. It saves any unwanted incidents. It does mean now, so penalty zone coming up. There we go, and now he's off throttle for 5 seconds. Pulls to the left of the circuit, but now he's lost acceleration. He's going to go flying. There you go, right to the back of the grid. And we're saying that it's like cars 0627 picked up a penalty too there. So, but I think he avoided going through that. But yeah, horrible there for the penalty seconds.
Yeah, and that is the punishment awarded then for a 5 second penalty. You go right to the back of the field, and he's about 1.2 seconds back from anyone else as well. I think that was literally just frustration being on the medium tyre with Yakuki on the hard tyre that may have come into play there. Our two leaders though, you can see Kerakuma and Akagi now are finally breaking away from Shields Honda, who has managed to stay out of trouble, but we expect maybe only one more lap before they come into the pits.
Maybe. I mean, we have seen in previous races where the medium tyre isn't meant to last as long as it does. We have seen it somehow be stretched to the end by the more talented drivers out there, or the more, I said, the softer drivers on their tyres. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, really, ideally, the medium runners want a gap. They want a bigger gap as possible, but they've got to pit in and then find a way back through again, and they'll be behind a lot of other drivers on track who have obviously opted to stay out on the harder tyre. But medium is the most popular right now. Also worth noting that Kerakuma and Akagi didn't switch positions this time down the straight, so maybe Kerakuma starting to put a bit of a gap.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Right, let's go to this battle then. Yamado and Black Beauty right together. They're in chase of Shields Honda as well, but it looks to me as if Black Beauty is going to be close enough to pick up the tow and potentially make a move. Yamado taking a slightly wider line there through T12, now through T13, and now the long straight, a chance to have a little bit of a break. In fact, it's that long as they come down through the tunnel. They are in chase of Shields Honda. I don't think Yamado is close enough to pick up a tow though. A gap of 0.6 of a second back to Black Beauty, so had a very good run through the final couple of corners there. And I think Yamado will be safe in that 4th place by the time we get towards turn number 1. Akagi and Kerakuma are right together, but Kerakuma it is who is still second with Akagi first.
There was a big lift there for Kerakuma. I think he knows where he wants to be.
Yeah.
I think essentially going to the last lap, or the penultimate lap, you want to be overtaken there into T1 and then just essentially just sit on the racing line for the rest. So Akagi there is leading on the circuit, but Kerakuma has the advantage in terms of slipstream. If he can make that work towards the end, that could be game, set and match. But we're still a long way away from that. We're only on lap 5 of 9. Here is Black Beauty and Yamada racing. This still going on, both on the medium compounder tyres, so both probably suffering some quite extreme tyre wear now. I always like to explain it this way. We say 26 times tyre wear, what does that mean? It essentially means that 1 lap on this tyre means 26 laps of wear on the tyre. So at this point, we're over 100 laps of wear on these racing medium tyres, so they'll be feeling awful at the moment. And the tyre wear is so extreme that you're probably feeling the car feel different from one end of the course to the other. That's how extreme the tyre wear is. That's why these superstars are so talented, because they can just pick that up and continue and adapt to it.
Yeah, well, every time you come around the corner, you don't really know if you can take the same amount of speed or when you can get on the throttle. It's a really hard thing to manage, and Shields Honda there just taking a bit of a wide line. Yeah, I think that was a bit of a mistake from Shields Honda, that, or he is struggling, as you said, and Yamado is getting closer and closer. 5 laps now and no one into the pits yet, so maybe they're going to go a little bit longer than we expected. Let's wait and find out. But Yamado is definitely closing in on Shields Honda there. It's close enough, I think, now to pick up a little bit of a tow. And I I think, as you've just pointed out, Akagi pulling away from Karakuma as well. There may have been a mistake from Karakuma last time around, but this lap 6 of 9 now, and Yamato, as you can see behind, has Black Beauty in the tow, but I think Black Beauty is going to wait for Yamato to probably try and make a move on Gilles Honda. Let's not count out G-Motor behind, because G-Motor is just keeping with this battle as well.
Yeah, Gilles Honda, of course, you have to remember, is on the harder compounder tyre, which at the moment doesn't seem to be working as well as the medium, despite being more durable. And it seems that there's a little bit of a train starting to form here behind Gilles Honda. We've got Yamato there, Black Beauty. In the background is G-Motor Ben as well, so he's kind of putting onto the back of his pack. And as soon as he's there, as soon as he's in slipstream range, we're essentially going to have a four-way scrap. The third position being led by Gilles Honda. So we do think that right towards the end of the race that Gilles Honda is probably going to be on the better tyre in terms of durability, but I'm guessing now that we're not going to get any pit stops. We're past the pit window now, the effective pit window, so I think these guys are trying to make these medium tyres go to the end.
Well, we could see a flip in the situation here when if Gilles Honda has been good enough to look after his tyres, we may see Akagi and Karakuma the ones really struggling at the end, and Gilles Honda coming back into play. So although there is a gap of 3 seconds to Karakuma and more than that, over 5 seconds to Akagi, let's not count out anyone just yet, but Akagi doing a fantastic job, has been better on those tyres clearly, and has been able to pull a gap of over 2 seconds to Karakuma, with Gilles Honda, as we said, 5 seconds back. Behind this, Black Beauty only 2/10 back from Yamato, so we could see a change there coming down towards turn 1, and here they are. But I think, as we said before, Black Beauty still just waiting for a move to be made ahead. At the moment, that is not happening. I think, as you said, we're going to see this race go to the end with no stops.
Yeah, I think that Black Beauty now needs to really get past Yamato. I mean, I think he's been playing the game of, okay, well, Yamato's going to have a go and I'll follow him through, but it just seems that Yamato isn't really keen on doing that at the moment. Maybe he's waiting for the last lap as well. So if Black Beauty wants to have a chance of 13s to get past Yamato very quickly and then work on Gilles Honda. So we'll see. Through here, it's very hard to follow cars through here. You might think, oh, these cars are planted, but you have to think of the dirty air these things produce going through these corners. It's very hard to stick close to the guy behind. Someone who's having an awful race, unfortunately, his car's 0.627. He's 4 seconds at the back of this fight for 14th, so really wanted to get there.
Yeah, when you're in a battle like this for 13th place, it's hard, to keep up your motivation, isn't it? But we'll monitor this as the race goes on, but this is where our main focus is going to be. This for the last of those top 3 positions, and Gilles Honda is still doing very good, well clear in terms of the other drivers on the hard tyre, with the next hard tyre driver down in 8th place, so that's a credit to Gilles Honda at the moment. But it's as you said, I think if you overtake someone, you may lose that position straight back through no fault of your own on the last lap. So it's a real hard race to monitor here, and I think we've potentially got legacy coming into play as well now to further extend this train for 3rd place.
Well, we'll see now. We're on the penultimate lap, and I think what Black Beauty needs to do now is get by Yamato on this lap. So he's going to keep his foot in it. It's 225 mile an hour, touching the rev limits here. He needs to go to the inside, get this done so we can start the attack on Gilles Honda. What will he do? I think he's going to stay in behind. Oh, he almost runs into the back there with Yamato, but you can see how much later the guys in the mediums are able to brake compared to Gilles Honda. But when we get into this twisty section, the hard tyres seem to come alive somewhat, and that's why we saw the Gilles Honda gap increased about a second before the end of the lap last time, that in the dirty air, of course. But now, again, Black Beauty just got to wait. You can't really pass through here. It's one line through. Very fast series of kind of blind corners when you're going around it for the first time. Learning this circuit is actually very difficult. There's not really many markers you can take cues from when driving around them. You see these guys like it's the back of their hands, darting between the barriers, and of course hitting the barriers, as we saw earlier, gives you a big old penalty. So it really is very impressive to watch it from an onboard. But even with the dirty air, Black Beauty is right on the back of Yamato, and we're actually coming up now to the biggest overtaking zone in my mind, which is probably down to T12, if you're close enough. But you see again, just getting that a little bit wrong. Oh, touching the barrier there. That should be okay in terms of penalty, and he's not quite close enough to send it up the inside of 12. So it's going to have to be on the straight again.
The lessons you can learn from just watching one onboard like that through turn 1 to turn 12 is absolutely incredible. Getting around here in one piece is hard enough, getting round here on that tyre wear in this car is even harder. Right, here we go then down the straight. We're about to start the last lap of the race, I believe, as we come up towards the line, and Yamato getting closer there to Gilles Honda. Has Gilles Honda pulled enough of a gap through the tight and twisty section to last all the way up towards turn number 1? We will find out very shortly. Yamato getting closer, getting closer. Here comes Black Beauty as well, as 225 mile an hour. Is Yamato going to be able to go down the inside on the brakes? Let's see, looks the closest he's ever been, but Gilles Honda just done enough there to hold on. And second place, it looks as if Kerakuma really starting to struggle now.
On the medium tyres, he's really dropped to the back of Akagi and is now only 1.7 seconds ahead of Gilles Honda, who this pack is now gaining rapidly on second place. So disaster for Kerakuma there. I think he's worn his tyres a bit too much trying to stay with Akagi. Look at this, Black Beauty is almost pushing Yamato through the midsection. He's so much faster through there. I think he's annoyed he didn't quite have the opportunity to get by coming down to T1, but getting that close, that's what happens. Dirty air, and then just sparks kicked up as he makes contact with the wall. It's going to slow him right down. Legacy is still there in the background. I'll be interested to see if Gilles Honda can get onto the back of Kerakuma or not. I don't think he's quite close enough. There is Kerakuma, and yeah, I don't think Gilles Honda's going to quite be close enough to make a move on this, but we're still not at the end of the race yet.
No, we've still got that straight to go, the all-important straight, which could see things change. Akagi's going to win this race, there's no two ways about that. I think Kerakuma's done just enough to hold on to second. Likewise, Gilles Honda in third, but who is going to finish fourth? 3 drivers can do it. Yamato, Black Beauty and Legacy. Legacy right on the back of Black Beauty, so Black Beauty thought they was probably going to go forwards. In fact, could be going backwards here as we go up towards the line for the final time. Akagi will take the win. Kerakuma will be second. Akagi, fantastic tyre management, a deserved win. Kerakuma second, and Black Beauty got third. Well, I was going to say Yamato did enough to hold on, but it changed hands on the last lap.
What happened to Gilles Honda?
Gilles Honda just disappeared.
I think maybe he must have had an issue coming out of the last corner. We missed that. We didn't see it on our screen. And Black Beauty not only getting past Yamato, but ended up in third position. So absolute disaster for Gilles Honda there on the last lap.
Well, what a final lap. We said it could have changed, and it did. Black Beauty going up to third, Yamato fourth, Legacy fifth, Gilles Honda sixth, and G-Motor Ben was seventh. And then we had Mish 12 in eighth. But there we have Akagi taking the win out front from Kerakuma. This was 9th to 15th, Yuki, CAR, Saka. Then we had Neji Fish, Ramstig, KRS, and then we had Jink Yasuki in 14th, and Shines was in 15th place. Very interesting race indeed there. Tyre management was key for Akagi to go and take that win from Kerakuma, but Black Beauty timed race to perfection to take third at the end.
Definitely. I think it was not quite where we wanted to end up, but made the most of it, and of course Akagi there with a fantastic result. So here's how that affects the point rankings then. So Kerakuma there takes has a bit of a boost, finds his way up into second position, only just overtaken there Black Beauty, about 60 points in it between those guys, with Kawasaki and Yamato Racing also moving up the order. Unfortunately for Shohei, of that bad result, he moves down, as does G-Motor Ben. So as we said, Chris, one good or bad result can affect your standings pretty substantially.
Yeah, Yakuki with that early penalty going down, but Legacy with that late charge going up to 12th. So that's the points and how they currently stand. A good lead for Akagi out front with 15,399 points. Interesting stuff, and an interesting looking table after 18 rounds. A very good race as well indeed. Well, that wraps us up for this one then. Don't forget, our next GT World Tour event will be at the Nürburgring 24-hour on the June 21st and 22nd. Details of how you can watch there and times below. Make sure you join us, but it's goodbye for now.